probiotics can come in encapsulated powdered formulas. Many of them now, as you know, Dr. Courtney, are shelf stable, so they don't even need to be refrigerated. But this is a very simple addition to a daily routine that can set you apart from a whole group of people that may end up with diarrhea, upset stomach, peptic and digestive disorders, and keep you from really enjoying your vacation by just ingesting a great quality probiotic 2-3 times a day as part of your everyday routine, along with your basic foundation nutrients. But this is an amazing, simple, preventative that can make such a difference between a great quality vacation and one where you are setting it in the risk.
You know, that's just right on point with the issue I brought up just a second ago. I think it's a perfect example of just by maintaining your own flora, the one that you're comfortable with, and maintaining a healthy flora, you could have bypassed, you could have avoided the tragic outgrowth of what happened to those visitors who visited me when I lived there. And I think in my own case, when I even returned back to the States, having not been taking any probiotics at all at that time, and I'm sure those who visited me did not do that either. And I think the combination of choosing where you eat, which sort of brings in that don't ever eat a taco in the street, that's good advice. But even if you ate it in the restaurant, the maintaining your own flora, a healthy flora, as a continual daily health challenge and goal, are excellent ideas that can take that vacation from hell and make it turn into heaven, and not allowing you to be afflicted in any way.
Well, I agree with you 100%. And, you know, it's just one of those simple steps that you have 20/20 hindsight, find out later that it could have been as doing something as easy as a probiotic. Yes, something really neat to focus.
Good point. So we got 2 down and 3 to go. Let's find out what the next up on your list is.
Well, the number 3 is, of course, a basic foundation multiple vitamin. Now, I've learned over the years that it gets a little confusing these days. There's a lot of supplements that are out there. We want to make sure that the supplement we're using is, and as you know, and I've seen a lot of your archive shows, talked to people in the past about digestion and about assimilation and how we as a nation have kind of propelled ourselves into an area where our normal digestive systems don't accommodate times. And many of us who walk around on a daily basis overfed, malnutrition, and missing basic nutrients because maybe we just don't have the capability to absorb things into a very digestible form. Recently, I came in, not even recently, actually, it's been quite some time now, I started working with a multiple vitamin product called Oxalent by a company called Vitala. And I think what was attractive to me, and not only just for traveling, but just for convenience, the idea of having something that comes in a packet that we can carry in our pocket, and we can start utilizing this product directly on the other side of security, put it right into your bottled water that you purchase right after you're waiting for your plane or your train or your automobile to take off. So right from the get-go, you are saturating, hydrating, and oxygenating the system. You incorporate that in with your probiotics, and your body is well underway, headed in the right direction to be protected, as well as ready for the journey.
Excellent. Had never heard of it before. You say it's an oxygenator for your own water supply? Is that what the intention is?
It really is. Actually, one great thing about the Oxalent is it is a powdered rejuvenatory formula. And what's really nice about it is it comes in wonderful flavors. What I've learned about this product is it is great tasting, 3 great flavors. They have things like sparkling mandarin and sparkling blackberry pomegranate, sparkling berries, and they come in an individual tiny little packet that you add to your favorite beverage, and you just drink it, and it's so wonderful. And you know how we are, we need to have everything taste good. Well, Lisa Lent, who's the founder of this company, found a way to make it taste incredible, and they've even branched out now into a children's formula and a prenatal formula. So here you have these individual little packets, you add them to your beverage, and it's really unique. It has things like superoxide dismutase. It has a good amount of vitamin D3, 1,000 units. It has 100% of your B vitamins. It has the amino acids arginine and lysine. magnesium and zinc, and flavored with organic cane sugar and stevia to keep that taste under control. Great quality. They use algae and minerals, which are award-winning minerals, and very easy to boost your energy system. Because you know when you're traveling, and this product was actually developed by a world traveler who developed pulmonary embolus because of traveling in a plane. And you know what happens when you travel. Your muscles get all kind of tight and throw blood clots.
Economy class syndrome, I believe it's called.
I gotta tell you, your feet are wrapped around a chair and there's no leg room. And I've always been somebody who tells people to get up and walk to the bathroom once or twice, whether or not you have to go through the motions to get your body going. So she decided to put this formula together when she got quite ill, and she found that it wasn't a formula for just travelers. It was a formula for everybody in general on a daily basis. These days we're looking for information coming from even the physician's desk reference. Way back in 2000, saying that about 10 to 20% of vitamin pills are absorbed by the body because of the fact that most people's digestive systems are not really up to par. I've learned a little bit more about this formulation, and I feel so comfortable with it is because it's shown to be exceptionally pure. It's third-party tested, no detectable toxins or microbes. You feel comfortable, eco-friendly packaging. I mean, my goodness, here you have a product that does all of these things for you, and you can put a little packet in your shirt pocket, in your purse, in your briefcase, once or twice a day in a strange city. You're enjoying yourself, and you say, you know what? First of all, I need to get a bottle of water. Second of all, I need to take my probiotics. Third of all, I'm going to turn this water into something that's going to refresh me, oxygenate me, feel wonderful. Why not have more energy during a vacation?
Hey, and I would also say, to be on the safe side, do it well clear of the TSA scrutiny. I don't think they want to see you throwing something into a bottle and mixing it up within their purview. Get away from TSA because they won't understand it, folks. They just are not going to understand it. I can tell you that right now.
I got to tell you a funny story. The Vitala Oxalent is doing amazingly well, and I stress it as much as I can because I'm all about great quality and convenience, and I'm all about making sure that we get absorbability because that's very important to me. Because many people go through the motions and they'll say, I've been doing this forever. How can I take something where my blood work is not reflecting a difference? And I said, well, we have to talk about your assimilation and your digestion. And years ago, we used to say, I did it 30 years ago when I started in the field, you are what you eat. Well, things have changed, Dr. Courtney. Now it's you are what you eat. You are what you consume, absorb, digest, and assimilate.
Yeah, you better be able to get it in the bloodstream, or it ain't happening.
I agree with you 100%. This is really a great step to the program, being able to have the availability of here you are traveling and feeling better about the actual process of traveling and having energy. So it's a wonderful addition, and I hope people will take the time to get the Oxalent Vitala try. They can even call for a free sample and check out their website.
Yeah, why don't we, because I think if you're introducing you've explained appropriately how you could benefit from such a product. To hear that one's out there, one that you put the full force of your reputation behind, how can our listeners find out more about this product? And I'm hearing from you that you even had a chance to get some of the product for free. How can they do it?
Well, they can call us. The number is 1-877-OXALENT, and I'll spell it for you. It's OXY. And the woman who actually discovered the product and created the product out of necessity and passion, her name is Lisa Lent. The last part of it is Lent. OXYLENT. So 1-877-OXALENT or Oxalent. And they can go ahead and give them a call. They'll be in the office in just a little while, and they can ask for samples. And they can also go to the website, which is www.oxalent.com. They can find a store near them that'll have the product so they can start using it. And boy, I sure would give them a call later today and talk with them and talk to their amazing staff and get yourself some samples to try. And, my goodness, how about these wonderful flavors? Sparkling berry, sparkling mandarin, sparkling blackberry pomegranate, and of course, you have the wonderful children's formula. We all have kids. And, you want to make sure that the kids are healthy. He came out with a bubbly berry punch for children and the prenatal indoors. which is amazing. They're using it endorsed by the American Pregnancy Association, the official prenatal multivitamin. And she did that one in a cranberry raspberry flavor. So, yeah, give them a call at 877, which will be great, Oxylent, OXYLENT, as well as www.oxylent.com. And you're going to find this to be an amazing product. Not only is it endorsed well with the industry, but it's a Best of Supplements Award winner 2010 by Better Nutrition. So it's been well endorsed, and people as well as the industry and the professionals and the peers, they're endorsing it fully. No sugar.
Wonderful. That's an interesting little addition I just wasn't anticipating. It's a great thing, and I hope by passing it on, our listeners take us up on it, especially to hear they're in such nice flavors, and they have a kitty size and component to it too. So, well, you become as consumer friendly as one can. Good job, Dr. Burke. Wonderful. Let's move on. We talked about the issue of the probiotic. We talked about selecting where you eat. Number 3 on your list is talking about a vitamin foundation program. Boy, this is a question that comes up. Doesn't come up a lot with you in a naturopathic way. What supplements should I take? How do you make these choices?
Well, I think when you're traveling, we want to, and what I have learned over the years that, we can kind of combine the number 4 and the number 5 together along with the 3 and the 2 to really give you kind of a package for when you're traveling. Of course, we talked about probiotics for reestablishing our friendly bacteria. We spoke about an alternative way of basic foundation vitamin program. The Oxylent takes care of that for you conveniently, and you don't have to worry about taking bottles. And because they're pre-sealed, they go through transport, they go through security beautifully, where you know what it's like if you take a bottle of your vitamins, or if you're like some of us, take a half a dozen bottles, and there's only maybe 30, 40 in each bottle. They're half open. They're opened already, and the TSA and everybody's saying, what's in here? Well, how do I know this is what's in here? You're not putting something else. You really have to travel with brand new bottles. And then on the way back, you think to yourself, my goodness, I'm going to have to go through security. I'm going to end up having it taken away from me and having to explain my bottles. So that Oxylent makes it different, convenient because they're prepackaged. But of course, 2 things that we have to address. We have our foundation, digestion. Now, we know that digestive enzymes are those things we secrete naturally in our stomach. They're there to help us break down the new and the unusual foods that we eat every day. And, and of course, we abuse our digestive system because we figure, as Americans, if we choose to swallow it, we should be able to digest it. And we are dealing in a situation right now where we are digesting very little of what we're eating. Some of the foods don't even have the capability of being digested, and our old digestive systems are now not capable of doing the job. So we end up with stomach pains and constipation and gas, bloating, and heartburn. And there's nothing worse than having this on your everyday life, but we don't want it when we're traveling. So along with that probiotic, bring yourself a great quality digestive enzyme. And the easiest way to think of a digestive enzyme, that you are putting it into your body during, around, or after, or before your meal to make sure that you have the army, you have the support, you have the 1-2 punch to the foods you're consuming, and that they have the capability and the absorbability factor to make sure that they're getting absorbed into your body so you get the benefit. You're not dealing with trying to find a drugstore to deal with the ramifications of digestive problems. And then the last and not least part of your program, something for sleep. Something that's going to help you relax, and if you're in a different country, something may resetting your biological clock, if you will, something that gives you the mechanism to slow down and relax at night and wake up refreshed. And this could be anything from L-tryptophan to melatonin, valerian root, any of them are good, but visit your local health store and pick up and speak to them, the knowledgeable staff, about the best combination blend, or maybe just some melatonin, to ensure a great foundation sleep. Because there's nothing better than a great night's sleep, and then you get up and to enjoy your vacation in a new area surrounding without being drunk.
Hey, very good, very wonderful tips. And they follow what I think most of our listeners would understand is a good program anyway, that appear to be tailor-made for what you really need to plan. If folks are doing this and they're not thinking about how to incorporate it in their vacation, my guess is they may leave their supplements at home when in fact it's the very place they've got to take them. But with TSA, if you got any liquid supplements, if you've got any liquids at all, you've got a problem, and you better be able to look for this sort of putting together the kit that you put together for yourself and the entire family. And I'm not so sure that it's thought of often, and I think it's a wonderful idea to make them and allow them to think about it now.
No, it's interesting, Dr. Courtney, is the last time I traveled to New York, I was out doing training in New York, and I had everything ready and organized. I had my shelf-stable probiotics in my briefcase. I had them also in my suitcase. I had 2 places. I had my melatonin. I had all my stuff ready. I always carried digestive enzymes, and I had my multiple vitamin. I had my Oxalent, everything sitting on the counter, everything to grab for convenience. And I left and got to the airport, and I went to security, and I remembered I left the box sitting on my table. Then I remembered that I had about a half a dozen packets in my briefcase for my computer, and then in my suitcase I had a dozen or 2 extra packets there from the previous trip. So then I started thinking that what a great thing to do ahead of time. Put them into your suitcase, put them into your briefcase, put them in your purse. And then if you do happen to have one of those days when you are running around crazy, getting ready to go on your trip, still have them already put into that little package. If you took an extra minute, make sure you be protected on your next trip. And they have great shelf-stability. And like I said, there's no way of them getting damaged because they're an individual convenient package. So I was well prepared. I got through security, and I opened up my computer. I was going to send an email, and I said, oh, my gosh, there they are. I have them from the last trip. And I got myself a water, and luckily I did because I was probably the only person sitting in the front part of the plane that was not sneezing with a cold, with a runny nose, with itchy eyes, and all that garbage going on. But the entire plane was sick, and I wasn't.
Wonderful. A very, very good story. You're so supplement-oriented that you have packs of supplements. You don't even know, you don't even remember that you have them. Because they're all around you, and if somebody gets onto this as much as I think you do in your own life, they too won't have to ever worry. They'll always only be an arm's length away from being able to be supplemented, which I think was your message. Let's do this. Let's take a short break. When we come back, I want to, because I've got you here, I love talking to naturopathic physicians. Our listeners love hearing from you. You mentioned enzymes. How about some general rules to follow with enzymes? I find the public intrigued about and really ignorant about how to take them. Would you spend some time with us on that?
I absolutely will. I would love to, thank
you. Okay. Folks, you are with Dr. Jeffrey Burke, giving you some hints as to how to make your vacation one from heaven and not from hell. And I think you've put together a pretty illustrative package of things to make it work just the way you'd like it to. We're going to continue with them when we return. By the way, you may want to ask the doctor a question about some of the things that he's mentioned and things maybe he hasn't. The number 412-825-6262 is the number to do that. We'll see if you knock on the door. When we return, we're with Dr. Jeffrey Burke and be back in a moment.
Healthier instead of learning to disguise this way. How about some real nutritional power? If your family has the typical American palate for fries, pizza, and burgers, giving your family the blessing of good nutrition is a struggle. Fruit of the Spirit is the answer for your family's nutritional needs. Fruit of the Spirit is an all-natural whole fruit puree made from fresh fruits native to the Holy Land with alkalizing minerals. Fruit of the Spirit was 5 years in the formulation, the work of a team of top nutritional experts with independent science to confirm its antioxidant power. 1 ounce a day provides the equivalent of 5 servings of fruits and minerals. Fruit of the Spirit is convenient, affordable, and delicious. Even your picky family will think praise the Fruit of the Spirit. Give your loved ones the blessing of good nutrition. Call 1-800-442-3793 for a special promotional offer. Fruit of the Spirit, a blessing for your good health. That's 1-800-442-3793. Call them now, 1-800-442-3793.
This is Dennis J. Courtney, MD. Have you become confused about how best to manage your health? It's no wonder. It seems that every time you turn on the television or radio, another expert has yet another suggestion for you to follow that seems to be reasonable enough, but no matter how dutifully you follow the instructions, it just doesn't quite produce the results that you are looking for. If this confusion sounds familiar to you, give us a call at the Center for Complementary Health, where we'll make some sense of the confusion based on a blending of traditional and alternative medicine that we've been perfecting over the last 7 years. We offer metabolic nutrition testing, immune system repair, natural hormone replacement therapy, chelation therapy, cutting-edge allergy correction, and a host of other safe and effective alternative therapies.
Dennis J. Courtney, M.D. is located at 3075 Washington Road in McMurray. Phone 724-942-3002.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back once again to AM Impact on Your Health. Here in a Wednesday morning version of the show, our guest today is trying to help you get through your summer vacation in a way that, well, the family will be talking about it in beautiful terms instead of nightmare terms, which I got a feeling maybe has occurred in your past. Not so, says Dr. Jeffrey Burke, if you just put together a little kit, keeping in mind some pretty commonly understood concepts, but maybe never applicable to vacations before. And I think that's where Dr. Burke has really helped us out today. Dr. Jeffrey Burke, of course, a naturopathic physician, been in the industry some 30 years, and a weekly commentator on one of our shows on Saturday morning. He is with us now. Dr. Burke, are you still there, my friend?
I sure am. Thank you so much.
I'm allowing you, by the way, listeners, if you'd like to ask the doctor a question on anything related to supplementation at all. It looks like with a naturopathic physician here, you've got a great opportunity. 412-825-6262 is that number, 412-825-6262. Now, I have selfish reasons, of course. I always enjoy listening to naturopaths describe selecting processes, and in these two cases, in your list, you mentioned two items that I think maybe some additional attention would be helpful to our listeners. One, probiotics, okay? There's so many, these probiotics literally scare the listeners because they get hung up in how many different organisms are in there. There's so many of them. They have a Latin name, and it's scary. Could you break down and make the issue of purchasing probiotics an easier one for our listeners?
I will. First of all, you want to decide with probiotics whether you want something that needs to be refrigerated, like something you're going to be using out of the house every single day. If you are a traveler, a frequent traveler, you're going to want to pursue something that is what they call shelf stable, which can be used without having to be refrigerated and traveled with very easily. Most of us will digest almost all forms of probiotics, but depending on your individual situation, be it gas, bloating, heartburn, frequent infections, if you're on a lot of antibiotics, if your kids are using tetracycline or erythromycin for skin and for acne, you're on treatment where you're using antibiotics on a regular basis, or if you have a history of using a lot of medication, chances are your friendly bacteria, if you will, or your colonization of good bacteria is probably at a minimum. Now, when I first started in the field, 50 million biological bacteria was one of the strongest, and it came out after that as 2.5 billion. It was 70 to 1 in potency. And now today, they're upwards of 100 billion biological bacteria per capsule, tablet, or powder. Now, I've learned that the average dosage, anywhere from about 1 to 2 to 3 billion organisms per dosage every day, is really more than enough to daily colonize and rebuild friendly bacteria. If there is a lot of chronic digestive disorders, you can always progress up to a stronger dose the next time, increase at the time after that, and find a comfortable level. You'll notice the way that your body feels best by a freshening of the breath, a reduction of urinary tract and bladder disease, a sensitivity reduction in the gut, as well as just feeling good overall, getting a better, no more metallic taste on the tongue. Those are things that we start to notice when we're having probiotics that are not functioning in our body.
wonderful idea in terms of the quantity per capsule. What about the kind? Because each company seems to take a different tack. I say acidophilus and bifidus are two of the most common ones you want to find. Any particular kinds of bacteria that you would encourage patients to take, or with respect to their own health conditions, would you steer them away from certain kinds of these forms of bacteria?
Actually, I'm someone who looks for the more inclusive product. So you turn the label around and you see the different types of bacteria. I am more apt to recommend something with a plethora of bacteria. It's kind of like your multiple vitamins. If you're taking a multiple vitamin, you want different angles, and you want a fully inclusive army all fighting towards one great cause, which is better health. I am under the same principles with my probiotics, that the more strains of trait-protected bacteria that you have, you're better off to have different angles for supporting and rebuilding and colonizing. So I actually steer people away from single forms of probiotics to more of a combination blend. Because one, they get more bang for their buck. Second of all, they get more defense mechanisms. And the bottom line is they rebuild their body. Okay?
Wonderful advice. I think you've helped me out, and you've helped our listeners out tremendously. Another category in the kit that you mentioned, which I think maybe would deserve a little more attention, is the issue of enzymes in terms of how do you pick them? I mean, we got three kinds of foods. There are carbohydrates, there's proteins, and there are fats. So you're almost consigned. You better have an amylase, a protease, and a lipase. I think that's number one. I'd like to know how you're looking about picking the enzyme. Number two, when you take the enzyme, is it before or after you eat? I get this question all the time. And number three, the consumption of water with meals or with taking of enzymes. Good idea, bad idea, no factor. Go ahead.
First of all, a digestive enzyme is something that you're utilizing if, during, around, or after the meal to help you do the job that our bodies used to do that they no longer do. I like fully inclusive digestive enzymes with a full spectrum of the protease and amylase, hydrofluoric acid if possible, maintained in there. Everything that's going to make sure that during the American diet of consumption, eating all these fruits and food, and we have every protective nutrient, almost the same principle as the probiotics. Now, I have an experimenting program that I like to use enzymes. So the first week I have people take it before their meal. For the second week, I have to take it in the middle of their meal. And for the third week, I have to take it after their meal. Only you know on the inside out which way yourself best. Are you digesting but not fully emptying your stomach? Are you starting the digestive off on the bad foot? You will find a difference in the way you feel by eating it around different ways, and then that's the way you should consume it. The next thing is, if you overdrink liquid at your meal, you dilute the acids in your meal, you turn your gut into bath water, your food will float around in that beverage for hours on end. And we start secreting and dumping all the extra acid in, causing sensitivity and irritation. And then most of those people end up with severe gas, bloating, and heartburn. So if your digestive enzymes are compromised, live the normal American lifestyle, eating foods that you shouldn't be eating, having service through the window of your car, eating fast foods, and chewing and wolfing your food without fully chewing it correctly. So the best thing to do is to look at a digestive enzyme and taste your liquids made from your meal a half hour on either side.
Wonderful advice. You've now come up to the bongo moment. We got bongos in the background, Doctor. That signals our time out of here. I want to tell you, it's really been enjoyable today. I've learned a lot. I think our listeners have too, about putting together that summer kit to make it heaven and not hell for the vacation they've got planned. Good luck to you, Doctor. Enjoy Pittsburgh each and every Saturday as you come in. Hopefully our paths will cross someday in the near future. Love to meet you.
Thank you very much, and thank you for your time and your show. Have a great day.
There you have it, folks. We're all done today. We are out of here. See you on Friday. We'll open them up for you on Friday. Until then, Dr. Dennis Courtney with Dr. Jeffrey Burke saying so long for AM Impact on Your Health.
Sponsored by Dennis Courtney, MD, Director of the Courtney Medical Group, located at 3075 Washington Road in
It was a lot of fun.
For more
I
information
really
or to
enjoyed
make an
it.
appointment, call 724